Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to be checking out a new Kotobukiya Maruttoys release here. It's the Mamoru. This is the white version. So far, this is being released in white version and black version. We'll probably see other color variants later on in the future, I would imagine, as we've seen with previous releases like the Noseru and the Tamotu. But this is the latest release in the line, coming out just in time for our Toys and Tanks contest that we have ongoing. If you guys haven't been paying attention, if you haven't heard about that, it's all of the Kotobukiya Maruttoys kits and all the Kotobukiya Nachin kits that are eligible kits to enter into our current contest, so check that out if you guys haven't seen about that. But for today, let's go ahead and check out Mamoru. Alright, so first off, some awesome box art here on the front, the modeling, design, and photography all by Mizu-san, who is going to be joining us as a guest judge for the Maruttoys category in our contest, so very, very awesome. But the photography on the front, as always for this line, looking really cool in this very kind of realistic, futuristic sense there for the line. Very cool. Very awesome, as these are meant to be like real robots that like people use in this futuristic story or universe that these exist in. Anyway, here on the one end of the box, we have a different photo of the kit with the kind of all the parts kind of expanded out. On the other side, we have the same photo as what's on the front. On this side of the box here, we have some information there in Japanese about the Mamoru, and you can see here's one of the features that those parts at the front are meant to be like lights. So this is kind of like a night scene here, as you can see. We do have our list price over here of 5,900 yen. Back around to the other side of the box, we have the normal mode and work mode here for them, kind of with everything kind of all closed up and everything all opened up. It's got arms and sort of like legs, I guess, sort of there at the bottom. Here's the inside. That's one of the great things that I love about this line of kits, is how interesting the inner detail is on them as well. And then it's all kind of enclosed with this just super smooth, sleek shell on the outside and all that beautiful detail on the inside. Very cool. So here's a couple of detail shots here about some of the options that we have. And with that, let's go ahead and pop the box. As you can see, it's a pretty thick box here. I think just because some of the parts are going to be kind of quite large for this one, but we'll take a look at all of the runners in just a moment. Start off here with just the instruction manual, where we have the same photo on the front. On the back side is going to be our color and decal guide here. Well, actually, maybe just the color guide, because I guess we don't have any decals, but color guide is here with some nice reference images for that. On the inside, this is again kind of a little bit of an introduction to the backstory or the view of the world. In here for the Mamoru, here you can see how the size compares to a human. And this is the Atarashi head office building there, which I guess is sort of like the company behind the robots, again, like in the backstory. But there's some information there, some images of the built and painted kit, which we have some more of here on the next page. Also in collaboration with Frame Arms Girl, there's one of the hand scale Frame Arms Girls like riding along there. And then this is also mixed with some parts from Sosai Shoujo Teien, MSG weapon option parts, some more MSG weapon option parts there. So there's a lot that you can do with these kits, which is what makes them very fun. So we've got our parts list over here on the next page, and then from there we're getting on into the construction. That's going to be the bulk of the manual. We go to the back, there's a little bit about just kind of how to operate everything, how you can use some of the different aspects of the kit for movement and customization. Let's go ahead and check out the runners. So all right, starting off with the armor pieces here on runner A, we have some of those larger, very high gloss white armor pieces. Very cool. That's going to continue here on to runner B as well. And then runner C, we have two of is going to be the armor pieces there for the legs. And then from runner D, we're getting into the interior detail parts, which are all in this very dark, slightly metallic looking gray color, which looks very cool. So here's some of the larger pieces here on runner D. Runner E, some more of our interior frame detail parts there. Runner F, we have two of and has a bunch of much smaller pieces on it. Now this is getting in for much more of the mechanical and joint type parts there. Same thing here for runner G, a smaller runner, but a bunch of parts here probably for the legs. We've got two of that G runner. And lastly, runner H is going to be clear parts for what would be like the lights on the kit essentially. So that's it. Let's check out the kit. Alright guys, so here is the Mamoru all built up, looking like a very cute and chunky boy here. I can definitely see a lot of possibilities here with this one. It looks great just straight out of the box. If you wanted a nice just kind of robot desk companion here, you've certainly got it, and there's some really cool stuff that you can do with this kit just as it is. I think it looks amazing just with that gloss white armor or the exterior plating there. But again, just like we've seen with the past kits, there's a lot of opportunity here for customization as well. So let's go ahead and take a closer look. So as for the accessories, we really don't have a whole lot. One thing is just going to be, we have 3 of these little adapter pieces there if you want to use these in any of the hard points here for adding other different weapons or equipment onto this from different MSG sets or other kits or whatever. And then we have this optional sensor part here for the head. So basically on the top of the head here, hopefully you can see there's this small panel on the top of the head. You can remove that or just omit it depending on how you want to build the kit. If you want to just have this sensor as a part of the build, just omit that from the start and make this sensor unit, which is just going to fit on the head instead. And I'll show you how that's going to look on the kit here in just a minute, but it's just kind of this added piece with this clear part there on the top. And that's really it as far as the accessories go. So speaking of some of the other clear parts, you have these ones right here on the front, which do look really nice, sort of quasi fingers there, sort of looking for the design. And one thing that I'll say that I love about all the Kotobukiya Maruttoys kits is that they have such a solid feeling to them. I feel like I could just like drop this thing, throw it across the room, nothing's gonna break. I mean, it's very compact. It doesn't have like, wings sticking out of it or anything too. Everything's very, just solid and compact feeling with this. So they always feel really nice in hand. Now, while we don't have a lot of accessories, we do have a lot of features kind of built into this. So like I said, there's hard points here, here on the back, here on the back here, and there's going to be some more attachment points. But for articulation here of the head, you can bring that up a little bit to kind of change the angle of the head side to side. You can turn it, you can kind of angle it up and down a little bit there. And then down here at the bottom, although the wheels are not actual working wheels, I think that's fine. You kind of don't really necessarily need that, but the legs, just like with the Tamotsu, will kind of extend out. And so we have a few different points of articulation here for you to change the adjustment angle of the legs. You can angle that side to side. You can turn that side to side here. You also have hard points here on the side of the legs as well. So those can come out and move around. And hopefully, it's going to be kind of hard to see. It's very dark on the inside. You have some really cool detail on the inside of there. Maybe if I pull out a couple more of the legs, you can see. But this armor piece too, as it's just kind of popping off here, I will mention is an armor piece where you will have a seam line. So it's going to be hard to see just with this as it is, but it's 2 halves put together here, and there's a seam line down the middle. Same with on the head, a couple of parts that you may want to end up removing the seam line on if you are planning on painting the kit. But just since I've got this part off the leg, I'll show you guys the internal detail there a bit more. But yeah, the internal detail inside these kits is always really cool. Aside from all of the legs extending out, we can also basically separate the top and bottom half of the body here. That is going to raise up, and there's, just like with the legs, a couple points of articulation in there for you to extend this up and rotate that, change the angle and everything. And then we've got the main arms and also sub arms. So here in the side right here, this panel comes off, and this is where we've got smaller sub arms. Now these you can rotate up and down a little bit there. Mostly it's just going to be a horizontal movement here at a couple of little joints, and you have this little attachment piece or connection piece right there at the end. But this is just plugged in via a 3mm hardpoint, so you could just swap out this little claw piece for something else, but that should hold on to any sort of like MSG option weapon or something like that. For example, again, you can use it for a number of different many things, but having those sub arms there in the side. That said, our main arms have even more built into them. And before I get to that, I should mention, actually, I forgot to mention this before, this back panel here actually is meant to extend out, and that's how the top and bottom half are going to stay very securely connected. There's a little latch actually built into this that connects the top and bottom half. So actually, before you extend out the body like I did here, you're actually meant to pull this part back first, and that kind of releases everything, releases the top and the bottom half, also releases the arms. We can now extend the arms out. Those are held in by that section there as well. And then we've got a bunch of articulation built into the arms here, so you can raise this up and down, you can rotate that. You can see we've got a bunch of different articulation points here to move the arms all around everywhere. And here at like the kind of hand, basically you're going to rotate this around. You can see once again we've got these kind of little pincer claws here, which you can use for holding on to different accessories or something. And these can also open up wide out like that and then be extended forward, so you can bring these out all the way out like that. So those extend out there, really cool for holding on to stuff. And then of course you can rotate this whole section there as well. So a lot of really cool and interesting articulation built into this. And again, one thing that I just love about the Maruttoys designs here from Kotobukiya is that you have all this really cool detail on the inside and this really nice smooth, glossy surface here on the outside, which just makes these kits so much fun to paint because you can paint all the details and stuff on the inside, and then you can get really creative with how you want to paint the outside. I mean, you can just keep it like nice and smooth and glossy, like one single color like this if you wanted to paint it in just like blue or orange or white or black or whatever, or you can get really creative with different masking and painting different patterns on there or something, or whatever you might want to do with that. So they're really cool. Let's try out some different poses here with this guy. And because we don't necessarily have a whole lot of accessories, and there's not like as much as I love these kits, I mean, yeah, there's not a whole lot that you can really do with them. So there's not too much to show off in terms of like different posing and stuff with these, but I mean, you can just get creative. That's the one thing that I really like about these kits, is that just they're really fun, like desktop companion kits. Just if you want to have a cool robot model kit to play with, just having on your desk or something, they're perfect for that. But the great thing about them, like I said before, is just the ability to customize them, how open they are to customization. So this kit is great on its own. Even better if you want to customize it by doing some different painting or adding different parts, MSG parts, again, kit bashing with different Kotobukiya kits or Bandai kits, whatever you might want to use with this. So these kits are a lot of fun just because of the versatility of them, whether you want to do a lot or very little with them, because the general construction of this kit goes together very quickly. They don't have necessarily a whole lot of parts, so they're great if you're looking for just a simple build and you don't really want to do a whole lot with it. You kind of just wanted to treat it as just like a little statue or a toy or something, like I said, just to keep on your desk to mess around with. They're perfect, great for that, like I said before too, also very solid, but that simplicity also works really well for the customization. There are a couple of seam lines on there, like I mentioned, there's seam lines on the legs, which I've seen plenty of custom builds of these where people don't remove the seam lines on the legs, so it's kind of up to you. I usually do, but it's just up to your preference. And there's the seam on the head, which none of those are very challenging to get rid of, and you don't have to worry about like modifying any parts or anything like that in order to remove those seam lines. So pretty simple, pretty straightforward to get rid of the seams if you did want to do that before painting the kit. And then yeah, you have all that really nice detail on the inside on those parts, which there's not very, I mean, like the unfortunate thing about that is that there's not a whole lot of part separation. Like I said, it's pretty simple construction, so painting on the inside detailed parts, depending on how you want to paint those areas, you may have to do a lot of masking if you want to paint like a lot of different colors, just because there's not a whole lot of part separation. So maybe just be prepared to do a lot of masking depending on what you want to do. Alternatively, it would work really well for practicing some hand painting some of your details or something like that. So definitely check it out. If you guys want to check out this kit or anything else from the Kotobukiya Maruttoys lineup, you can check the link in the video description to USA Gundam Store down below in the video description. And if you guys also want to leave a like or make sure that you're subscribed, that also helps out quite a bit. Let me know your thoughts on this kit in the comment section below. What do you think about the Mamoru added to the line here? I think it's pretty cool. As always, guys, hope you all have a great day. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!